Hi guys, just welcome to this first video around suicide awareness, I suppose, and I suppose us, myself and Fracas in particular, looking for action in relation to this. We believe that 480 people taking their own lives every year in Ireland is just not good enough, and it's something that we can look at as a community. It is a very sensitive subject, of course it is. It's upsetting for a lot of people who have been through it, and apologies if we do upset anybody, or if these videos bring up anything for you, but please look for help. If negative feelings are really warning signs that there's something wrong, that you don't have to sit with negative feelings, that you can do something about them. But I suppose how are we supposed to fix a problem if we don't discuss it? And it is about kind of us all practicing what we're preaching, and we're all trying to make a difference in each other's lives. And I suppose the video, this is the first video that we're going to just talk about why people take their own lives. And the next couple of videos, one is going to be around, looking at the family and friends and how to help them, looking at the individual themselves. Because the reality of this, guys, is that there could be somebody watching this video that's thinking about ending their own life. And we really hope that people really just take stock and think about that. And we will have an individual video to help people look at how to do that. But then from the community standpoint and the government standpoint, we need to kind of suggest solutions, because what we're doing is clearly not working. Yes, it's reduced slightly as the economy has improved, and then the direct link between employment, helping people, make a better decision around their life and their well-being. So we believe that all those factors are really, really important, and to get a really good understanding of what we're trying to do, it would be important that you look at every one of these videos if you could. Obviously, I'll try not to bore you too much about this, but it really is about just kind of educating ourselves, really looking at the importance of well-being and how to do it. And what we really want is for this country as a whole to look at just a general happiness and well-being of people, and look at the reasons why people are taking their lives. And that's why the starting point is really hard hitting, right? When you look at the real reasons why people are taking their own lives, it's not nice to look at, but we need to actually address these problems, because the information I'm going to be talking about today is all down to research from people who have tried to take their own lives and people who have taken their own lives. And we want to reduce and stop suicide in Ireland. It's that simple. 480 people a year taking their own life is not good enough. So we need to put a strategy in place that's going to help that. And a lot of people say that this subject is very, very complicated, but I don't believe it's complicated. I think it's very, very simple. But there's a lot of factors that are involved, and there's a lot of attitudes and beliefs that a lot of people need to change. And change in attitudes and beliefs can be really hard. But, if we can reach a few people and we can bring down those numbers slightly, if we can make some sort of difference to get people talking about these and looking for solutions, well, it will be worth it. It's not nice having to put ourselves out like this. It really isn't. I know a lot of people might laugh and say, oh yeah, Paddy and Fracas love kind of putting themselves out there and stuff like that. We don't. This isn't something that should be needed. If we have a society that's inclusive and helping each other, it wouldn't be needed. It wouldn't be required. We want big changes because it's not good enough. Drastic things need to happen. So, and like we say, looking at problems like I'm going to talk about down in a moment is very easy. It's finding the solutions that's the problem, and finding the answers to actually improve this. And the evidence will be that the numbers coming down and people are happier in Ireland. And a collective response is needed for this to happen. If people have created these problems, well then it's people that are going to sort it out. So why do people take their lives? And again, all these reasons mightn't be relevant for everybody, so that's important to say that. So anybody who's been affected by a suicide in the past, and I really, really sympathise with that, genuinely sympathise with that, and Fracas and anybody who's going to be helping us, we do. This is why we're doing what we're doing. But generally people get to the end where they just feel worthless, they just feel like there's no way out, only to take their own life. And we might look at it rationally and say, of course, there's ways of doing that, but the person at that stage has got to that point where their lack of self-esteem is on the floor. It's absolutely non-existent, where the lack of confidence and skills for work or activities is not good. They emotionally feel really overwhelmed, where they're stressed and agitated, and they might have made mistakes where they develop really a lot of problems such as addiction or mental health problems or offending behaviour or aggression, drugs, alcohol, sex, gambling, you name it. All these problems can manifest themselves very quickly, where then people can become depressed and anxious and have panic attacks. Trauma is a big one, where control and abuse and upset and loss and grief can have a massive effect on somebody. Injuries and pain can be huge as well in relation to, people not having the opportunity to be able to do what they want, the lack of coping skills or problem solving skills, guilt, embarrassment and shame based on what they might have done in the past or things have happened, owing money and feeling inadequate because of that, thinking that would all end if they take their own life, that everything would be gone and all the problems would be gone. That irrational kind of part of the mind believing that, and the instability, the unstable mental illness and problems that can happen medically, poverty and not having a job, and the lack of empowerment and fulfillment